Every morning, you plunge your hands into a vat of urine and rotting flesh, the stench so vile it makes your eyes water. This is your life as a medieval tanner, turning bloody animal hides into leather. Your clothes are stained, your body aches, and the city shuns you for your filthy trade. Yet, without your work, society would collapse. No shoes, no armor, no books. Can you imagine enduring such a grueling life to keep a city alive? Let's step into your world and find out. You are a medieval tanner, and your job is to turn raw animal hides into leather. It's a tough, messy process, but it's vital to the city. Leather is everywhere. Shoes, belts, saddles, even book covers depend on your work. Without you, life in the Middle Ages would fall apart. You pour your sweat into every hide, knowing your craft keeps society moving. But your role comes with a heavy price. You're at the bottom of the social heap, seen as dirty and unworthy. People wrinkle their noses when you pass by. Tanners like you are outcasts, their trade considered too foul for respectable folk. It's a lonely life, and you feel the sting of rejection every day. Your workshop sits far from the bustling city centre, tucked near the river. The location is practical. You need water for washing hides and a place to dump waste. But it also keeps you isolated, away from those who can't stand the stench. The smell of your trade, a mix of rot and chemicals, clings to you like a shadow. Even other low-status workers steer clear, leaving you to toil in solitude. Your day starts before the sun rises, stirring in a small, chilly house on the town's edge. You share this drafty space with your family, all huddled together for warmth. The first task is hauling water from the nearby river, a backbreaking chore that greets you every morning. Bucket after bucket, you carry the heavy load, your shoulders aching under the strain. Then, you trudge to your workshop, a simple setup with wooden beams and large vats waiting for the day's work. It's a tough start, but you're used to it. This is your life as a tanner. In the workshop, you brace for a delivery of fresh hides from the butchers. They arrive reeking, smeared with blood, fat, and matted hair. You drape each hide over a wooden beam and start scraping off the mess with a sharp knife. The work is slow and grueling, your hands throbbing with every stroke. You can't afford to rush. Every hide must be flawless for the leather to be good. Despite the ache, you keep going, driven by the need to provide for your family. Next, you soak the hides in water to loosen the hair, but water alone won't do the trick. To speed things up, you pour urine over them, collected from chamber pots or bought from neighbors. The ammonia in the urine works wonders, but the stench is so foul it makes you gag. You let the hides sit for days, checking them often to ensure they're softening. This part of the process tests your patience, but you know it's crucial. You push through, even as the smell clings to your skin and clothes. Once the hair is loose, you grab a dull knife for scudding, carefully scraping off every strand. It's meticulous work, demanding focus and steady hands. After, you rinse the hides in the river, but the runoff pollutes the water downstream. Your neighbors curse you for it, their glares a constant reminder of your low status. Then comes baiting, where you soak the hides in a mix of water and animal droppings to make them soft. Sometimes, children are paid to stomp the hides, their small feet kneading the mixture, in a strange sight, but it works. Baiting takes weeks, sometimes months, and you check the vats daily, turning the hides to keep them even. While they soak, you steal a moment for a simple lunch, bread and cheese, or maybe a watery stew if times are good. Your earnings are slim, so your meals are humble, barely enough to keep you going. After eating, you're back to the vats, ensuring the hides are progressing. When baiting's done, you scrub the hides clean, washing away the foul mixture. Each step is exhausting, but you're committed to getting it right. The final stage is tanning, soaking the hides in a solution made from oak bark to preserve them. This can take up to a year, a test of endurance and planning. While waiting, you mend tools, tidy the workshop, or tackle other chores to stay busy. By evening, your body is spent, your back screams from bending, your hands are raw from chemicals. You stumble home, clothes damp with sweat and grime, to a family who barely flinches at your smell anymore. There's a quiet pride in your heart, knowing you've turned waste into something lasting, something useful. Your workshop is a rough, open space, exposed to wind and rain, with large vats and earthen pits for tanning hides. The air is thick with the stench of rotting flesh, urine, and sharp chemicals, a smell that never leaves you. Your tools are basic knives for scraping, wooden beams for stretching hides, and paddles for stirring vats. You've grown used to the foul odor, but visitors often gag or turn pale when they step inside. It's a grim place to spend your days, yet it's where you pour your strength to keep your family fed. The work is tough and risky, demanding both skill and caution. Every day, you wield sharp knives, risking deep cuts that could fester. The chemicals you use burn your skin if you're not careful, and the fumes sting your lungs, making it hard to breathe. In winter, the cold numbs your fingers, turning simple tasks into struggles. In summer, the heat bakes the workshop, leaving you drenched in sweat. You push through these hardships because stopping isn't an option, you have mouths to feed. Despite the dangers, the social toll weighs just as heavy. You're an outcast, shunned by other tradespeople who see your work as filthy. Most guilds won't let you join, locking you out of their networks and protections. Even among tanners, there's a divide. Those working finer leather look down on you for handling coarser hides. But with fellow tanners, you find a quiet bond, a shared understanding of the struggle. Together, you face the scorn and keep going, finding strength in your shared grit. You live in 14th century Europe, where cities like London, Paris, and Florence are buzzing with growth. As a tanner, your work keeps these cities running, turning raw hides into leather for shoes, belts, and more. Your tannery sits along the River Thames in London, using the water to process hides. But your work dirties the river, and folks downstream resent you for it. Leather is vital, yet your trade earns little respect. You toil in the shadows, knowing your craft is the backbone of the city's needs. Your trade feels the pulse of the times. Wars and crusades drive up demand for leather. Saddles, armor, and shields all rely on your skills, keeping knights and soldiers equipped. Even monasteries, like Fountains Abbey, have tanneries where monks craft leather for books and belts. Most keep their tanneries far from living spaces to avoid the stench, but at Fountains, it's oddly close to the monks' dorms, sparking endless grumbling. Your work is everywhere, yet you're rarely praised. It's a hard truth, but you carry on, knowing leather holds society together. The Black Death in 1347 hits hard, wiping out tanners and leaving you with more work than you can handle. Survivors like you are stretched thin, overworked, and barely paid enough to scrape by. Guilds control many trades, but they often shut tanners out, seeing you as too lowly to join. Despite these blows, your trade keeps going. Leather is too essential to fail. You face each challenge with grit, part of a world that depends on you, even if it doesn't always show it. Your life as a tanner began early, born into a family where the trade runs deep. You learned the craft from your father or a master tanner, starting as a boy with small tasks. Reading and writing weren't part of your world. Your education was the workshop, the vats, the hides. You grew up knowing the smell of leather and the weight of hard work. It's a tough path, but it's yours, passed down through generations. You carry the family's skill with quiet pride. Your home is simple, a small place with a thatched roof and dirt floors. You sleep on a straw mattress, lumpy but familiar, shared with your family. Meals are plain bread, cheese, and onions fill your plate most days. If you're lucky, a bit of meat might appear, but your earnings rarely stretch that far. Water comes from the river, murky from your own tannery's runoff, yet it's all you have. It's a humble life, but you make do, finding comfort in routine. Your children, as young as 10, pitch in, hauling water or stirring vats, learning the trade just as you did. Your wife, often from another tanner's family, helps with lighter tasks like cleaning hides. Marriage was practical, arranged to strengthen ties with families like yours. Leisure is scarce, but on holy days, you might join a festival, hoping for a rare moment of fun. Your low status makes you feel out of place, yet you go, craving a break. Amid the grind, small joys a perfect hide, a shared laugh, or a quiet evening with family keep you going. Your work as a tanner takes a heavy toll on your body. Hours spent bending over vats leave your back aching, a constant dull pain. Your hands are rough, scarred from knife slips and chemical burns that sting with every touch. The long days of scraping and soaking hides wear you down, yet you keep going. You have no choice, your family needs you to push through the exhaustion. It's a grueling life, but you carry on with quiet strength. Money is tight, and every day feels like a struggle to make ends meet. Hides and oak bark, essential for tanning, eat up most of your earnings. Your profits are slim, leaving little for anything beyond the basics. Socially, you're cut off, avoided by neighbors who can't stand the smell of your trade. Even in town, people keep their distance, making you feel like an outsider. Despite these hardships, you hold your head up, knowing your work matters. Still, there are moments that make it worthwhile. You feel a swell of pride when you craft a piece of leather that's strong and lasting. Sometimes, a wealthy patron asks for something special, like a finely tooled book cover. These rare jobs remind you that your skill is valued, even if you're not. Your family depends on you, and society needs your leather. That knowledge drives you to persevere, finding purpose in the grind. One morning, you find a hide has spoiled overnight, weeks of effort ruined. You mutter a curse, but start over, knowing delays hurt your family. A customer grumbles about your leather's quality, and you argue hard to protect your name. Your apprentice clumsily spills a vat of urine, flooding the workshop floor. Hours pass as you mop up the mess, your patience stretched thin. Despite the setbacks, you keep going, driven by the need to survive. During a city festival, a Tanners Guild invites you to a rare meeting, and you feel a flicker of belonging. A fire breaks out in town, and you join a bucket brigade, your leather buckets hauling water. A noble tasks you with tanning a horse's hide for a special saddle, the pressure weighing heavy. Your youngest child coughs from workshop fumes, and worry gnaws at you constantly. A rival tanner spreads lies about your work, forcing you to defend your reputation. You stand firm, knowing your craft is honest. A drought dries up the river, leaving you without water for weeks, and you pay steep prices to keep working. You're summoned to testify in a land dispute, blamed for river pollution like all tanners. A merchant offers to buy your entire leather stock at a high price, but you hesitate, sensing a catch. Your wife gives birth to another child, and you fret over feeding another mouth. A new apprentice joins, and teaching them tests your patience, but it's vital for your trade's future. You're invited to a city wedding but pause, fearing your smell will spoil the day. A plague sweeps through, killing many tanners, and you're buried in work you can barely manage. A royal tournament commissions your leather, a rare chance to shine. Your oldest son chooses blacksmithing over tanning, and though it stings, you respect his dream. A flood wrecks part of your workshop, and you rebuild for weeks, terrified of losing everything. A customer accuses you of cheating them on leather, and clearing your name is a struggle. You push through, holding on to your integrity. Monks visit your workshop, eager to learn tanning for their monastery, and you share your knowledge with pride. Oak bark grows scarce, forcing you to raise prices, and customers grumble loudly. A sick neighbor tanner leaves their apprentice starving, so you take them in. A city council meeting calls you to discuss tannery rules, a chance to speak for your trade. Your daughter wants to tan, challenging tradition, and you wrestle with her bold ambition. After decades of toil, you retire, passing the trade to your son, reflecting on a hard but proud life. Your life as a medieval tanner is filled with struggle, yet it brims with meaning. You work in conditions that would shock most, surrounded by foul smells and endless toil. With every hide you tan, you show grit and skill, turning raw materials into something lasting. Your leather reaches everyone, from peasants in worn shoes to kings in fine saddles. Without your craft, society would stumble. No armor, no books, no belts. You've carried this burden with quiet strength, knowing your role matters. Think of the legacy you leave behind, etched in every piece of leather you made. Your hands, scarred and weary, have shaped a world that depends on you. Though shunned by many, your work holds society together, piece by piece. Next time you see a leather-bound book or slip-on sturdy shoes, pause to honor the tanner's labor. Could you endure such a grueling life for the sake of others? What would you give to leave a mark that lasts?